Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Faishola Akintola, and I'm the Special Initiatives Manager for Mayor William Peduto. Right, I have the honor and the pleasure of managing our Welcoming Pittsburgh initiative for a few years now. I hope you guys have been enjoying the Welcome Neighbor series that has been showing throughout Welcoming Week. As you can see from today's title, this is going to be a little bit different, right? Today, we're going to be reflecting on the history of Welcoming Pittsburgh with an incredible guest, right? With Mayor William Peduto, that he's yet to come on. But first, I think I'll be remiss if I didn't take the time to actually honor my predecessors, right? The ones who helped lead the foundation for where we are now. So before me was Alexis Vargas, and before her was Betty Cruz, right? And these are all incredible women that put in the effort, that made a lot of sacrifices to be where we are today, right? As we know, the mayor's administration is coming to a close. This is such a sweet opportunity to reflect and kind of glean from lessons that the mayor has had over the years. And again, to even learn from my colleague who joined just a couple of years ago. So before I introduce the mayor, I'm going to bring on my colleague, Ala Mohammed, who is a policy coordinator with Mayor Peduto's office. Hey, Ala.
Hey, Faye, thank you for the introduction. It's great to be with everyone. And yeah, I've just been honored to be working on the Welcoming Pittsburgh initiative for the last 2 years.
Yeah, we're so glad to have you on. And I'm excited for us because we're going to be doing the co-interviewing with the mayor together. So of course, the drum roll, we're going to bring in Mayor William Peduto. Hi, Mayor.
Hey guys, it's really nice to be with you today.
We're so excited to have you on, Mayor. And I know we're going to jump in and ask you questions, but first we have a lot harder questions that we want to ask you first, Mayor.
Okay, I'm ready.
So the very first one, what is your favorite comfort food?
Comfort food?
Yes.
Pizza.
What toppings?
It depends, but it would always combine something with pepperoni.
I was waiting for you to say French fries. All right, Mayor, we've got another question for you. What is the best advice that you have ever gotten?
Probably my dad used to always tell me, take a breath, take a breath. And I think that there's two parts of that. Number one, taking a breath gives you that opportunity to think about something before you make a decision. And secondly, taking a breath literally allows the oxygen to go to your brain in order to be able to provide you with additional brain power. So I would say that, you know, my dad didn't leave me with much advice. He told me never to borrow another man's horse, gun, or woman. And he also told me to take a breath.
Sound advice. I really appreciate that.
I don't have any friends with horses.
I like that. Another question for you. What's a place that you've traveled to that you would like to go again?
So many, so many. One that comes out with a foreign destination is Cambodia. It's a beautiful country. It is a great welcoming people, and it's just rich in history and culture. On the more local level in this country, Santa Fe, New Mexico. It's a beautiful city. It's filled with art and vitality and a beautiful natural setting.
Oh, awesome. I attempted to guess some of the answers and I got all of them wrong. So it's really great, Mayor, to get to know you a bit with those questions. So again, we're going to dive right in, right? Again, we know you started your administration in 2014. And I know along those, that same time in 2014, the conversation around Welcoming Pittsburgh came about. And in 2015, we actually launched the Welcoming Pittsburgh Roadmap. So I wonder if you could tell us, why was it important to create Welcoming Pittsburgh during that time? I know Ala and I were not here during that period. So why was that important to you for Welcoming Pittsburgh to be in your administration?
The city of Pittsburgh had not taken up till that point any true initiative of being able to be a city that could actually grow by bringing in migrants, immigrants, and refugees. We had relied primarily upon nonprofit agencies to do that work, and there really wasn't a coordination with the groups that were starting to settle within Pittsburgh and Pittsburgh local government. So we hired Betty Cruz. Betty and I went to grad school together, and I was impressed with her from back in those days to work with the agencies that are all throughout the city and throughout the county in order to be able to create a roadmap of what city government could do in order to make Pittsburgh a more welcoming place, and a place where people would either want to stay, especially with our young students who are coming from all over the world, or a place that people would want to move to, and being able to attract more people from more parts of the world, just like we did 120 years ago. So we sort of lost the ability to attract people from other parts of the world during the 70s and the 80s and the 90s and the early 2000s, mainly due to our economy. Now with the economy back, what is city government doing in order to be able to recapture the people, to be able to build the type of city that we built before?
It's a really great answer, Mayor. And I mean, it's 2021, it's 8 years later. And I'm curious what you think the largest impact of the Welcoming Pittsburgh initiative has been, in your opinion.
Well, we saw with the 2020 census that our Asian community within the city has grown 47%, the largest increase probably in over a century, I'm not sure. Our Hispanic community has grown 34%. Again, very sizable increases. And we've created a more diverse city than we have possibly ever had. That being said, there's still a lot more work that we need to do. We still need to be able to be understanding of critical needs in communities where English is a second language, being able to provide the services in the languages that people understand, being able to have access to all the same services that city government offers to all of our other neighbors, and understanding the additional challenges of what it's like to move to a new country and to be able to provide that opportunity across the spectrum, not just with city government, but in all services provided by a city.
Thank you, Mayor. With that, how do you think the diverse communities that we've attracted, how do you see them, or what do you see the benefits to the city as being?
Well, it's sort of a question that you can answer by Pittsburghers who've been here for a few generations, looking back to their grandparents and what they were able to bring. You know, they came here, and in some cases, I guess now great-grandparents, they came here to use their backs. They came here to use their shoulders and to use their arms. And they worked in the mines, and they worked in the mills and the factories, and they built America. Today, people are coming to Pittsburgh to use their minds. And they're not only building out a new generation and a new economy for Pittsburgh and Western Pennsylvania, but they put us back on the global stage in understanding that a city that is a post-industrial city can respect its past and also build a new future. So when I look at all these communities that are coming, folks who are coming to study in our universities from Africa, doctors that are coming from Asia, technicians and other folks who are coming from South and Central America, folks like Louise Von Ahn, who came here from Guatemala and created Duolingo. What I see is us looking with pride at our past and our own families and recognizing that the future of this city is dependent on being able to do that again, and looking all over the world this time, not just to Southern and Eastern Europe and the Southern United States, but to all of the world for attracting that type of talent. for making sure that there is a city of Pittsburgh 100 years from now.
So as you've said, the city and the region has come a long way in being more welcoming over the last several decades. I'm curious what you think the community can do in the future to continue being a welcoming city, and what role does the city governmental arm have in that?
Well, let me answer the second part first. I think that the role of government is to make the access to government as easy as possible for all of its residents, and understanding that within some critical communities, especially those of people who are new to the United States, there are barriers that government creates, and that we have to be cognizant of that in removing those barriers and allowing opportunity to flow to everyone. The second part of it is more about what people in Pittsburgh are able to gain. Having the world right outside your doorstep allows you to be able to experience things that you wouldn't have otherwise been able to experience. We're joking about a comfort food, pizza. I read an article the other day when pizza was introduced to Pittsburgh, and it was like this magical dish. You know, now there isn't a neighborhood in the city that doesn't have a place you can walk to get a slice. But that same idea about the food and the culture extends so much beyond just the things that you can enjoy at a festival. It's the history and the fabric of the world being here, being right outside your door in your neighborhood. It's the idea of your children learning about other cultures from their friends, who the history goes back much, much further than Europe or the United States, and being able to have that experience on a firsthand level. And all you have to do is participate. All you have to do is be there during the Chinese New Year and to be able to celebrate it, or to be able to understand the celebration of light with Diwali and being a part of it. How wonderful to be able to live in a city that isn't a mega city, but still has that ability to have the world at your doorstep.
And so, Mayor, within that, I'm wondering, what do you personally do to make Pittsburgh more welcoming?
I tell the stories of the past, and I try to remind people that it isn't something new, that there has always been a part of our society which questions things that are new, and even worse, can take out actions. And I remind people that hateful words lead to hateful actions. And I try to explain to people that, you know, before the Civil War, there was a person elected as the mayor of the city of Pittsburgh named Joe Barker. And Joe was a street preacher who preached hate, and his hatred was the Catholics, the Irish, and the Germans, who were the new immigrants who were coming over to an area that was all Protestant. And Joe threatened to kill the bishop, and he was put in jail, and his friends thought it would be a great idea to run Joe on a write-in ticket with a new political party called the Anti-Catholic Party, and he won. And he ended up imprisoning the bishop for an illegal sewer tap-in at McGee Hospital. And during his term as mayor, the cathedral of the Roman Catholic Church was burned to the ground. When we talk about hate today, and we look at different groups, we have to understand that that finger pointed back at many of us. My grandfather came over in 1921, and he settled in Carnegie. It took 5 years for my grandmother to join him, not because she didn't want to, but because US Congress changed the laws so that Southern and Eastern Europeans were limited to how many people could come over. And it had to be reflective of 1890. And that was a direct consequence towards hatred towards the Jews and to the Catholics. And so if you're in a position today where you're saying, I don't want all these different minority religions or these people from this part of the world, ask yourself if your grandparents were persecuted. And if they were, do you really want to make that same mistake twice?
Thank you, Mayor, for that. And again, this is even also to to thank you again for your work and the leadership that you've set for us throughout your period. I could definitely reflect on so many opportunities that we've had over the years. If it's coming to speak, if it's coming to our programs, and I know that you've always tried to prioritize Welcoming Pittsburgh. I mean, I could think of things that I would think, okay, well, the mayor is not going to be able to be there, and you would somehow move or do what you can to be present. So I just want to thank you for that. And also, even knowing that the work that we have to do internally, I think a lot of the questions that we've asked has been outward facing. But of course, we know that the city of Pittsburgh is 200 years old, right? So there's a lot of work that needs to be done internally with city departments. And again, we've been doing that work for years, right? And trying to make sure that staff and hirees and directors and chiefs understand, again, the importance of creating a welcoming environment. And because of your leadership and the work of our past predecessors as well, we've been able to achieve this by becoming a certified welcoming city, right? And just for context, even for the viewers and those that are watching, again, certified welcoming is a set of standards that range from essential components, from language access to hiring practices, and such a broad range. I mean, they cover frameworks from government leadership, civic engagement, equitable access, education, connected communities, economic development, and safe communities, right? So again, Mayor, the question is, what does this mean to you? And what do you hope it leaves in the history of the city, being able to attain this certification?
To me, it means a ton. I hope that people understand that, number one, you have to be able to strive towards this goal. Many cities don't even attempt it. And number two, you have to be able to meet the requirements in order to be able to become a welcoming city. When I look back over the past 8 years, I look at a city government that didn't even have a person who was employed in any meaningful way of recognizing new Pittsburghers, the important role that they play in how our city could actually work to make their lives better. And now today, 8 years later, we're recognized as one of America's welcoming cities. That's a testament to the work that both of you have been doing. It's a testament to the work of the shoulders of those who worked in these roles before you. And it's a testament to this community, to the nonprofit agencies and all the organizations that help to create Welcoming Pittsburgh and our agenda to build a welcoming city. This announcement is a capstone to that work over these past 8 years.
Thank you, Mayor. We also have a word also from Rachel, who is the Executive Director of Welcoming America, who also wants to share some remarks.
Hi, my name is Rachel Parich, and I'm the Executive Director of Welcoming America, an organization that works with communities across the United States and globally to become places where everyone, including immigrants and refugees, can thrive, belong, and prosper. And it is my great pleasure to join you today to recognize and congratulate the city of Pittsburgh as it becomes certified as a welcoming city. I want to just begin by thanking and recognizing Mayor Peduto for his leadership in really championing this work and leaving it as a tremendous legacy. I also want to thank and recognize Faye Yalabi with Welcoming Pittsburgh in the Office of Equity for her leadership, as well as every single member of the Welcoming Pittsburgh Steering Committee for their dedication to shepherding and steering this work. And last but not least, I want to thank every single resident of Pittsburgh who with this certification sends the unequivocal message that in Pittsburgh, everyone belongs. As the city of Pittsburgh becomes more diverse, as Afghan families begin to make new lives there, we know that this public-private partnership between the city, so many incredible community-based organizations, and residents is part of what's needed to create and sustain a welcoming infrastructure in which every resident can participate to their fullest, civically, socially, and economically. We also know that this work is not easy, and that is why Welcoming America has been working for many years with the city of Pittsburgh and its partners, and why we were so pleased to conduct this rigorous audit of the city's policies and practices and to be able to recognize the city of Pittsburgh for the work that it has done to implement many new programs, many new policies that today make it eligible to become certified as a welcoming city. We know this work is especially important for cities in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and the city of Pittsburgh is the third, joining Erie and Lancaster to become a certified welcoming city. We know it's important to recognize that to be competitive, cities need and communities need to invest in ensuring that people join the community, put down roots, and can thrive. And there's work to be done to ensure that racially and ethnically diverse residents don't face discrimination or undue barriers to opportunity. This announcement comes during Welcoming Week, an annual event bringing together neighbors of all backgrounds in communities large and small, rural and urban, to build strong connections and to affirm the importance of welcoming and inclusive places in achieving collective prosperity, just like Pittsburgh has committed to doing by becoming certified welcoming. Again, Welcoming America is pleased to congratulate Pittsburgh and its leaders, and we look forward to celebrating your success and to supporting your continued efforts. Thank you.
Thank you, Rachel, for those kind words. Yeah, we're so grateful. We're so grateful for the opportunity to be a part of Welcoming America and to be able to have the scholarship first and foremost to be able to participate in that welcoming standard. So thank you, Welcome America, for your work on that.
And thank you for figuring out a way to quantify what welcoming means. I mean, we've been able to talk today about the various different ways this work shows up, whether it's at a community level or at a governmental level. It can be very hard to define welcoming, and this welcoming standard really does help us as a government entity to understand what our role is and create a goal for us to achieve towards or to strive towards. So I guess, Mayor, my last question to you is, do you have any more goals for the welcoming work during the remaining time that you have with the city?
One of the nice parts about being a mayor is that you can help to steer policy and programs beyond the borders of your city. And we have been working with the State Department in order to be recognized as one of the areas where people who are fleeing from Afghanistan will be able to find a home in Pittsburgh. And Pittsburgh has been selected as one of 19 cities in the United States by the State Department to help with resettlement efforts of the refugees and our political allies who helped our troops during our 20 years in Afghanistan. Secondly, we are one of 51 cities around the world who have joined together to put together a plan of how cities around the world can lessen this refugee crisis by each accepting an amount of people that we can accept all over the globe. You know, a lot of times we get trapped by the complexities of the major problems of our times, whether it's climate change or migrants or refugees. But if you start to break it down and you look at it city by city, it becomes solvable. And Allah, as you had stated about quantifiable, cities have the ability to address it through strict numbers and being able to each take a responsibility, whether it's lowering our carbon footprint or whether it is being able to take on a number of people. A welcoming city is a city that understands that we're all in this together. And in these next 4 months, we'll be showing that once again.
Thank you, Mayor. It's honestly been such an honor to work on this initiative with both of you. And Faye, as the manager of this initiative, I want to give you a chance to reflect as well on the time that you've spent with Welcoming Pittsburgh and any future wishes you have for the initiative.
Yeah, thanks a lot, and thank you, Mayor. I would say I think something I'm so proud of is the fact that I felt like we've achieved really communicating to folks like the city, the doors of government is open. And I think that echoes the words that the mayor has been saying, that government is not out of reach, right? So if anyone, again, if you're coming here as an evacuee from Afghanistan, or you've been here already for a very long time and you're still trying to get settled and understand the city that you're in, is to know that the doors of government is always open, right? And I love that. And I think it's incredible to see the group of community members that we convene on a monthly basis, to see that that has been articulated, and they also see the value of government in their conversation. So as I reflect on that, and I'm thinking about goals in the future, is that I hope that continues, right? I hope that people continue to see government as a partner, right, going forward. If it's refugee resettlement, if it's other agencies, if it's private, corporate, that they see the value of government in the conversation, that the whole idea is to remove barriers that prevent minority communities from interfacing with government, so that, again, all of our communities could thrive. Yeah, thanks a lot for that question. So as we wrap up, guys, I hope you all have enjoyed this time so far. Again, I feel like we could spend hours having this conversation, but for the sake of you all watching, I want to thank you so much for participating and tuning in. And again, just so grateful to Allah, and of course the mayor, for your leadership and allowing us to achieve this great point, this great feat in this administration. So thank you to you all. Mayor, thanks a lot. Any last words before we say goodbye?
No, just be nice to one another. And that's the way Mr. Rogers would have wanted it.
I like that. Be nice to your neighbors. Allah from you.
I would just say congratulations, Pittsburgh. This is a really great achievement, and we're really happy to be a part of it.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Thank you, you all. Please continue to watch the series that we have going on, and we look forward to hearing from you guys. Want to hear your feedback, so feel free to email us at welcomingpgh@pittsburghpa.gov. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.